What's up guys, Scott here from Icon Vehicle Dynamics, and we're out in the shop with the all-new Lexus GX550 right behind me here. And we've been playing with this platform for a while now, and I've learned a lot during the suspension development and kind of the comparison to how this guy stacks up against all the other new Toyota models that have just been recently released. We were kind of under the assumption going into everything, and like most people, that this is just a Land Cruiser with a bigger engine. And turns out it's a lot more complex than that. And actually that combination of parts that makes up this truck seems to be, from our opinion, kind of the magic combo of all the new parts that are available in all these different models. And with this Tundra-esque platform here, we actually get significantly more wheel travel out of the suspension than you're able to get on a Land Cruiser. It's not just a luxury brand anymore. This guy's made to boogie. All of the upcoming suspension systems, as well as skid plates and other armor products from Icon, are very soon to be released. But in the meantime, Icon Alloys already offers a line of wheels that's perfect for the GX550 with optimized offsets to allow you to fit the biggest tire possible regardless of what sort of suspension system you're running. So today, let's talk a little bit about wheel and tire fitment on this GX550. Okay, so this particular GX550 is an overtrail. So that means it comes with a slightly larger tire than some of the other submodels, and that would be a 265/70 R18 on a 18-inch wheel with a 60mm offset. So tires sucked in pretty close to everything. Putting a larger piece of rubber on this wheel isn't ideal for suspension clearance. See, right now with one of our billet upper control arms, we have a ton of clearance back here, and that's not so much of an issue, but larger, wider tires are gonna pose a problem. So let's look at a couple of options from Icon Alloys as far as wheel offsets go, and a few different tire diameter and width options to see what's going to fit the new GX the best. So our first option here is a 295/70 R17 Recon grappler from Nitto Tire, mounted on an Icon Alloys Recon Pro wheel with a 25mm offset. Now this guy is roughly a normal size 33 that you'll find, and is kind of a small tire for what we think will actually fit on this vehicle. And we're up at full compression suspension wise now. Bump stop is sitting on the lower control arm, and you see we got plenty of clearance up top. If the tire were a little bit bigger, we would have some issues potentially with the top of the fender here, but overall it fits real nice. So if you turn at full steering lock, on the back side of the tire here, there is a crash bar and some fender liner and stuff, and you can see it's pretty close. Like, it does clear, but that pretty much barely able to fit my fingers in between the tire and the wheel well. And so this, again, relatively small 33-inch tire. We go up front, a little bit more room up front here, but really this offset is working against us, and by pushing it more outboard, that scrub radius is different, and so when you turn, the tire's getting closer to these positions. So if we were to try a different offset, a more positive offset, but yet not as positive as factory, is really gonna be the ticket. So let's give that a shot. Okay, next we have something a bit bigger. This is a 285/75 R18 mounted on a 18-inch Recon SLX from Icon Alloys with a positive 40mm offset. Now this tire is more in line with what we're thinking is going to fit on the truck. You know, it's a small 35, you could say. But you see here, again, full compression. This tire with a 40mm offset tucks up quite nicely inside the wheel well with plenty of room to spare. And on the back side, even though it's a larger tire, we're pretty much in the same place as the smaller 33 with that 25mm offset. It's a little tight. You may have to do a little bit of trimming under, you know, dynamic suspension scenarios, but overall, it's gonna clear real good. Up front's the same thing. Big tire clears the fender well all the way around. So this 40mm offset is really going to be your best option as far as the overall tire clearance goes. And if you want to run a bigger tire than this, you know, narrow, small 35, you've got options. It's just going to require some trimming. You remove some fender liner and stuff. You got some crash bar things back here that we don't necessarily recommend that you remove, but that would free up a little bit more clearance back there as well. So let's move on and see what a 35-inch tire with an incorrect offset would look like. Let's look at this Canadi Armor Hog ATX. And this is a 35 by 12.5 mounted on a 17-inch Icon Alloys compression wheel here. And this wheel is a positive 25 millimeter offset. So what has happened compared to the last wheel is the tire is pushed outboard more, about 15 millimeters comparatively. It may look like we're up at full compression here, but what we've actually had to do to just keep the tire out of the fender is limit that up travel by a little over a half an inch to just keep the tire out of the fender. If you were to say run this wheel tire combo on your GX without that travel limitation and something big came up, you were to jump the truck, go to full bottom with some force, chances are you're going to cause some damage to the sheet metal up here. So some trimming, bump stop spacers would be required to keep it out. If we look from a turning standpoint, this is practically the same size tire, albeit slightly wider, but the offset is what's killing us. You get zero steering angle before we are all up in the back of the firewall here. The same thing goes up front. You get a little more steering angle, but we're immediately into the fender liner. That sort of stuff can be trimmed out, but ultimately you're going to lose some overall suspension performance by limiting your travel, and that 40 millimeter offset is really going to be the best place to put that tire and give you the most clearance possible. Another noteworthy thing for the GX, like most of the Toyota models going back, is for any aftermarket wheel, we recommend using ET lug nuts. And Icon Alloys got you covered. We offer a full set, so it makes it easy to order. The lug studs on the vehicle from Toyota are just very short, and so when you have an aftermarket wheel, they tend to have a much thicker pad compared to OE wheels, so you get very little thread engagement. And the ET threads basically allow more threads, more bite on the lug nut, ensure that that guy's going to stay tight, never come off or anything like that. All right, and so that's a quick rundown of the wheel recommendation for the GX550. Make sure you stay tuned and follow us on all the social medias, and all of the upcoming products are very soon to be released with suspension systems, armor, skid plates, all that jazz. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, tell us what you think of this video, and we'll see y'all next time.